So, amidst all of this, we're realizing how essential the internet is in our lives. We're realizing that the internet is a utility in our lives. Imagine if we didn't have the internet right now. Where would people go to get information? How would they find out what's going on? What would they do for entertainment? Yikes. Be kind of crazy. Because the internet is really part of our daily sphere now. It's been around long enough. People are used to it. It's a utility in our lives, and it should be designated as such. And a lot of you guys who have been watching the show a long time, you know that's an issue I am very passionate about. I am trying to bring municipal broadband internet to my community of Pasadena, California. And what that is it's the city provides internet, and the city owns the internet infrastructure, and you pay your internet bill the same way you pay for your garbage or something like that. All the cities in the country that have already done this, they experience better internet at a cheaper price pretty much 100% of the time. There's a few projects that are still in development where the speed isn't quite as good as what the private cable companies can offer. And we're talking about one or two, for instances, out of dozens others. I mean, there's well over, there are definitely dozens of municipal broadband projects in the country at this point. You can go to muninetwork.org to find a map of all of them. But nearly 100% of the time, the city option offers better internet, higher quality, better speeds at a cheaper price than what the private cable companies can offer. And it's either better or it's neck and neck. And it's cheaper 100% of the time. And nearly 100% of the time, about 95% of the time, the quality's better. And a few, for instances, the quality is neck and neck. I bumped my microphone there. But it's because the project's not done. And this is a contagious, if you will, thing. Because here's something interesting. One of the more recent municipal broadband projects happened in Charlemont, Massachusetts. Charlemont, Massachusetts is a town of 7,000 people. And they all came together and they said, hey, Comcast, thanks, but no thank you. Get the hell out of town. We're going to build our own municipal broadband project because we found out what you're offering us is nonsense and we can build better infrastructure on our own. Because here's why city-owned internet is better than the private cable companies. The private cable companies have organized duopolies where they don't infringe on each other's territory. And then they just try to build infrastructure so that they can price gouge you, the consumer. So they offer you crappy internet and they price gouge you for it. They charge you way more. That's why our rates are way higher than other countries in many, for instances. So that's what they do. So when you have a city project that's just dedicated to try to get quality internet to the people, because everybody uses it from the mayor to the city council to the poorest and richest of residents, you get something better and you get a better price for it. And you're probably going to get better service too. Because you're not calling some call center located who knows where they're going to send out a contractor that doesn't even care because it's some third-party thing. No, you're going to get people who use the same internet as you, who want this internet to be working and working well all the time because they depend on it too. That's why the most municipal broadband projects in the country are happening in Tennessee. Why Tennessee? Well, because Chattanooga, Tennessee had city-owned internet before everyone else. They were ahead of the curve. They saw this opportunity in their grid and they built it. They have the best internet in the world. What? Yeah, in the world. They pretty much have the best internet in the world. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Definitely the best in the country. It's among the best in the world. And other places in Tennessee saw that and they were like, whoa, we really want to have that. How can we get that? I mentioned Charlemont. Charlemont, Massachusetts got it. Well, now Cambridge is talking about it. Now Boston's talking about it. And Cape Cod. Here's one of the newest municipal broadband projects happening in the country. Interestingly enough, it's also happening in Massachusetts. Cape Cod, Open Cape, residential fiber pilot, a window to better connectivity on Cape Cod. Earlier this month, Open Cape Corporation, a nonprofit nonprofit fiber provider in southeastern Massachusetts, announced that it will pilot fiber to the premises residential service at a new mixed-use development in Hyannis on Cape Cod. For the project, Cape Built Development is renovating a historic building to house apartments and businesses. Thanks to Open Cape's connectivity, they will be the first fully fiberized residential units on the Cape. Now, again, going on the premise that this is a contagious thing, here's something that's also happening in New York. And then we're going to go to California. So this is happening in New York. Let's go here first. And this was shared by William, by the way. William, thank you for sharing this. Thank you for sending this to the show. Municipal Internet. Dryden could be the first in New York. Okay, so this is Dryden. He is going to build internet for himself. No, I'm just kidding. Dryden's a place. It's just a weird article because there's like a picture of this guy like right under Dryden. Dryden's the city. And yeah, this guy is not Dryden. Anyway. All right, so living in Tompkins County is a balancing act. People who can't afford to live in the city of Ithaca move to the outskirts further into the county. All right. But as they do, they face another set of challenges. Less density means less people, which means less incentives for spectrum. Incentives, they mean money. So what they're saying is people in rural areas, the cable companies don't bother going to build there because they don't care about it. So now people are building their own internet. The town of Dryden, led by town supervisor Jason Leffier, is looking to rectify the issue by installing its own broadband system that would give residents faster, cheaper internet access. Because when you're doing it to actually build infrastructure, when you're doing it to actually provide internet, and these are rural areas that can do it. So when they make the argument of, we can't afford this. No, any community can afford it because there are so many ways to get it done and get it done right and get it done well. So here you have Ithaca, Dryden, outside of Ithaca. They're trying to do this. And here's something that's happening in California that is reason for optimism that this movement will grow some in California. Check this out. Gavin Newsom, governor of California, says 7 school buses will be converted into mobile hotspots for students who don't have access to the internet. If successful, this trial could be expanded. So right now, this is a temporary thing. This is a temporary thing that they're doing to expand internet access to those who don't have it. But if it's successful, which it will be, people are going to see this and they're going to say the internet should be a utility in our life. That was amazing when we had these hotspots. We needed it. It was essential. Why don't we have this all the time? And then the conversation is going to start. Why don't we have a statewide broadband project that gets high-speed internet to everybody? Why don't we do that? And we can do it. By the way, we can do it. So it's catching on in New York. And by the way, in New York City, there's a bunch of mesh networks that are community owned that are trying to offer people better, cheaper internet within the city. So now you have something going on in California where the government is stepping in and they're doing something. And this is going to catch on too. And this is how the movement grows. And if you get every city in the country with municipal broadband, with city-owned internet, we're going to have better internet at a better price. And guess what we've done? We've won the net neutrality battle once and for all. They're trying to take the open internet from us, folks. They're trying to take it. That's why Ajit Pai, the Trump FCC, gutted net neutrality. The FCC before them tried to gut net neutrality. They failed because there was so much public outcry. And net neutrality is the policy that assures the internet is a utility, and it assures that the internet is free and open, meaning no content provider can pay to have their content load faster. There can't be priority fast and slow lanes for information on the internet. We don't have those protections anymore. And if we lose the medium, we lose it forever, by the way. People make it out like, oh, no, the internet as we know it will always be around. No, you don't know that. Because look at what happened to radio. If you would have told someone in 1992 that all of radio would be completely homogenized and one company would pretty much own every station and they'd all be playing the same 10 songs and it would all be piped in from who knows where and there'd be no local information on the dial, they wouldn't believe you. But what happened 4 years later? Well, the Telecommunications Act in 1996 happened. And then that became a reality. and a bunch of people lost their jobs and they didn't know why. And there was no local information on the dial. A train derailed in the Dakotas. Poison gas was released into the air. If you were listening to the radio, you wouldn't have known about it because everything that was coming in on your radio dial was getting piped in from Denver or somewhere like that. And they were just saying, they were giving you just a weather report. So the point is, once we lose the medium, whether it's the internet or anything else, it's gone and it doesn't come back. So stuff like this is what's going to save us from having to tell our children and our grandchildren what the internet used to be like. You mean anyone could just start a podcast? Yeah. People could live stream on the internet? Yeah. And you weren't employed by Fox News, CNN, or MSNBC? Yeah, that's right. Anyone could do it. Even a comedian in his living room who talks to a black cat, even that guy could do it. We got to save the internet, and this is how.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and